Gulliver's Travels Easy English Story A1 A2. Once upon a time, long ago in England, there lived a man named Lemuel Gulliver, and his life was about to change in a way he could never imagine. Because sometimes the smallest places can teach the biggest lessons. Gulliver was born in Nottinghamshire, England, into a simple and kind family. His parents were not rich, but they were loving and honest people, and they were very happy when Gulliver was born. From a young age, Gulliver was smart and curious, and his parents wanted him to have a safe and respected job, so they hoped he would become a surgeon. Gulliver listened to his parents and studied hard, but deep inside his heart, he had a dream that never went away, a dream of the sea. Every time he saw ships in the harbor or heard stories about faraway lands, his eyes would shine. He often said to himself, "One day, I will travel across the seas and see the world with my own eyes." However, Gulliver did not know how to become a sailor, and he had no guide to help him, so he followed his parents' advice and became a surgeon. He worked very hard and soon became one of the finest doctors in England. He cared deeply for his patients, treated them with kindness, and helped many people feel better. People trusted him and respected him. But even with success and praise, Gulliver's heart still belonged to the sea. At night, when the world was quiet, he would think about blue waters, strong winds, and unknown lands. And he wondered if he would ever live his dream. Years passed, and Gulliver got married. He loved his wife very much, and together they had 2 children. He was a loving husband and a caring father, and his family meant everything to him. But the dream of sailing never left his heart. One day, Gulliver came home looking worried and quiet, and his wife noticed it at once. She asked him what was wrong, and Gulliver told her that he had been offered a job as a captain on a ship. He said that he wanted to take the job, but he was afraid to leave his family behind. His wife listened carefully and then smiled gently. She told him, "You must follow your heart. If sailing makes you happy, then you should go. Just promise me that you will always return safely to us." Gulliver felt relieved and grateful, and he promised her that he would come back. The next day he hugged his wife and children tightly, waved goodbye, and set sail to the South Seas, feeling like the happiest man in the world. The sea was wide and beautiful, and Gulliver felt free, but he did not know that great danger was waiting for him. That night, a terrible storm hit the ship. The wind howled loudly, the rain fell heavily, and the waves grew tall and angry. The ship was thrown from side to side, and soon it broke apart and sank into the dark sea. Gulliver fought bravely to survive, swimming as long as he could, even when his strength was almost gone. Just when he thought his life was ending, a huge wave carried him far away, and everything went black. When Gulliver opened his eyes again, he was lying on a beach, tired and weak. He felt something tight on his body, but he was too exhausted to move. After some time, he finally woke up fully and tried to sit up, but he could not. He looked down and saw that his arms and legs were tied to the ground with tiny ropes. Then he saw something unbelievable. A very small man, no bigger than Gulliver's finger, was walking toward his face. Gulliver was shocked and confused. He thought he might be dreaming, or maybe he was dead. The small people around him were scared and angry, and they shouted at him, calling him a giant. They asked him why he had come to their island and what he wanted. Gulliver spoke calmly and told them his name was Lemuel Gulliver, that he was not a giant by choice, and that he had come there by accident after a shipwreck. The small soldiers listened and could see that Gulliver was tired and honest. So they decided to take him to their city and let their king decide what to do. They built a large platform and used hundreds of small horses to pull Gulliver through the city. As he looked around, Gulliver could hardly believe his eyes. Everything was tiny. The houses, the streets, and the people. And he realized that this was the island of Lilliput, a land of very small people. Soon, Gulliver was taken to see the king of Lilliput. The king was careful and serious, because Gulliver was much bigger than anyone he had ever seen. Gulliver knew he must be polite, so he bowed as best as he could and greeted the king with respect. He praised the beauty of the kingdom and promised that he meant no harm. The king listened closely and decided that Gulliver would be treated as a guest. But for safety reasons, one of his legs would be tied so he could not move freely. The people cheered the king's fair decision, and Gulliver felt thankful. He was given a place to stay in a large, broken temple near the city, and every day, the people of Lilliput brought him food, water, and clothes made from many small pieces of fabric. They visited him often, talked to him, and listened to his stories about the big world. Gulliver enjoyed their company and tried to be kind and helpful. One day, Gulliver saw a strange event in the city. People were walking on a rope high above the ground, and many of them looked scared. The king explained that this was a test of bravery and loyalty, and the winner would become an important leader. Gulliver was worried and said the test was dangerous, but the king believed it was necessary. Gulliver thought for a moment and then asked for a rope. He cut it into many pieces and made a safety net, placing it under the rope. Now, people could take the test without risking their lives. The crowd cheered loudly, and the king was impressed. As a reward, Gulliver's chains were removed, and he was free to walk around the island. Over time, Gulliver became very popular in Lilliput. He helped the king with problems, and listened to stories about their enemy island, Blefuscu. One day, Lilliput was attacked by Blefuscu's ships, and the king asked Gulliver for help. Gulliver walked into the sea, tied the enemy ships together with ropes, and pulled them back to shore, saving Lilliput from invasion. The people praised him as a hero. But when the king asked him to destroy all of Blefuscu's ships, Gulliver refused, saying it was unfair. This made the king angry. Soon after, Gulliver's friend warned him that the king was no longer happy with him, and that he was in danger. Gulliver decided to leave Lilliput, and went to Blefuscu instead. There, the king welcomed him kindly, and helped him rebuild a boat he found in the sea. After many days of work, the boat was ready. The people gave him food and supplies, and Gulliver said goodbye, thankful for their help. At last, Gulliver sailed home and reached England safely. He hugged his wife and children with joy, and told them many amazing stories. Gulliver returned to Nottinghamshire on the 24th of April, 1702, knowing that his journey had changed him forever, because he had learned that size does not measure courage, kindness, or wisdom, and sometimes the smallest people can teach the biggest truths.